Welcome back to the Second Hand Club. My name is Gregory, and in today's video we are continuing our series of the best watches released during the Watches and Wonders edition of 2022. In today's episode we will be exploring the Lange Sohne Odysseus in titanium. Let's get into it. Before we dive into it, usual segment where we ask our viewers to kindly support the channel by simply subscribing to the channel and liking this video. It really helps us grow our community on YouTube. Anyway, I still remember when Lange Sohne introduced the world to the stainless steel Odysseus 3 years ago. I personally wasn't a big advocate of the piece, and like many of the collectors I discussed this watch about, we were highly doubtful that this watch was going to be any kind of success in the future. And I have to say that slowly this watch is growing on me. Not that I'm following a trend here, but it was something so out of this world for Lange Sohne to come up with a new reference like that our only thinking could be, yes, they are following the trend of a blue steel sports watch in the hopes of becoming the new Royal Oak or Nautilus. Ever since that release, I still find that there is something not fully right about its execution. Is it the large fonts used for the day and the date? Are the openings too far apart? Is it the bracelet? I still can't really pinpoint what could be the factor that makes the Odysseus the new sports watch that everyone needs to have in their collection. Maybe it's just not the DNA of Lange, which has a deep heritage in creating classic and dressy off-Saturn time watches. That being said, I like this release. Like in 2019 with the release of the steel version, where it was the first time that they ever released a non-precious metal piece. In 2022, it's the first time that we see Lange Sohne use the grade 5 lightweight titanium. One thing that stands out on the pictures of the watch is the attention to detail when it comes to the finishing. From the polish to the sandblasting effects on the side of the case, everything has been thought about in order to make this watch stand out. It's very rare to find horology pieces being made of full titanium. We only saw titanium coming into trend thanks to a few independent watchmakers that dared to be different. It's only in the recent few years that we have seen big maisons go full titanium. Anyway, back to the watch, we can see that the bracelet and the metal case are not fully matte. The sides of the bracelet links and the pushers are polished, and I find that it brings a great contrast to the overall look of the watch and the integrated bracelet. I also feel that the work that has been done on the titanium version brings a complete different feel to the watch and makes it very, very sporty. The angles are very well worked around, and the 5 links bracelet comes out very nicely executed in its titanium edition. And I'm glad that we still have the safety adjustment buckle, which remains the same as the previous models. One of the biggest changes brought to this year's Odysseus is the dial. The blue is what Lange Sohne calls an ice blue. It's a very attractive dial that fits accordingly to the shade of titanium used, and it makes the watch very well balanced. I can't wait to have the opportunity to get this watch in my hands. I have read online that this is a very lively dial that catches the light beautifully. While we're still on the dial, there is also an evolution in terms of design there too. There is a new hour track with a guilloche pattern, which brings character and the depth as they lean into the hour indexes. One of the benefits of making this watch a full sports watch by the use of titanium is that the whole watch weighs only 105 grams, making it roughly 50% lighter than its steel version. All the small changes that we see on the collection are very well executed by Lange Sohne, and I really cannot wait to see what they bring to this watch in the future. Is it going to be more complications, a quick release bracelet, a leather and rubber strap alternative to compete with the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore? That's going to be interesting to follow the evolution of this model as Lange is trying to gain shares in the sports watch category. On the technical aspect, the new Odysseus houses the same movement and same dimensions. The watch has a diameter of 40.5 millimeter and is 11.1 millimeter thick. The water resistance is 120 meter, plenty enough for what the watch needs to fulfill. The caliber Datomatic L155.1 is the only movement from the brand that runs at 4 Hz, and the finishing of the movement is, as expected, one of the highest standards of the industry. If Lange should be known for one thing, it would be the decoration and the depth of their movement. The open back case allows to have a glance at what the movement looks like, decorated with a Côte de Genève and a perfect anglage. The attention to detail around the engraving of the bridge that covers the balance wheel is really second to none. Now, it's not going to be an easy task to be able to acquire this timepiece. Not only now it's a true sports watch, it's also a limited edition of 250 pieces and only available through the boutique network of Lange Sohne. The main downside on this watch is clearly its price point, that I personally find a bit steep. I hope you're ready. If you want to add this watch to your collection, it will cost you $56,500, almost double of what the steel version was when it was released in 2019. For a titanium watch, it's a bit of a stretch. Of course, it's Lange, it's in-house, it's a sport watch, whatever you want. But how do you justify such a price jump to your core collectors? Inflation? I don't think that will do it. By positioning themselves and this watch in this price range, Lange is trying to establish themselves in the higher tier of luxury sports watches instead of letting the collectors decide. Lange seems to try to jump there by putting a high price tag. I'm really not sure this is the best strategy. Time will tell. Anyway, that wraps it up for me today. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this new release from Lange Sohne. Before we go, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps our channel grow. We release video talking watches every week. Have a great day and see you in the next episode.